What's going on, guys? Chuck here with something a little different. This is going to be part one of an awesome Blu-ray purchase. And that's because time has not been my friend as of late. I'm having a lot of chaos going on at home. Nothing bad, just crazy busy, a lot of stuff, that's kept me from doing a lot of things I want to do. So I haven't been able to actually watch this movie yet. I really want to, so I want to tell you my thoughts. I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, I don't want to sit back too long. I really want to share this really cool edition with you. And that is Hammer Films, I guess, but this ultimate awesome collector's edition of Hammer's The Curse of Frankenstein. Now, when this was announced, I didn't really jump at it. I was like, "Oh, it's okay, man. I know the history of Hammer. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not well versed in Hammer. I've seen very few Hammer films. I think I know I've seen one of the Dracula films. I don't know which one it was, and that's because it was on one of those Mill Creek 50 movie boxes. Um, I did see Frankenstein, the Monster from Hell, because I played the drive-in one year. Um, and I don't know if Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde was a Hammer film. It might have been. If it was, I saw it. But as far as the classics, I mean, like the Christopher Lee Dracula films, other than the one. But or anything else. I know the history of it. I know that they were kind of it was a Renaissance time coming after the 1950 coming between the 1950s atomic age sci-fi monster movie and just before the savage cinema of the 70s. You had that 60s time when Hammer was kind of reinventing the the Universal classic monsters and their own take on it, because and I believe it started with Curse of Frankenstein, if memory serves from the history I read. And of course, then you had Christopher Lee and Dracula. Then he played the Mummy as well, and they've had the Oliver Reed did a version of the Wolfman, and these are really popular films. And again, they were I won't say touchstone. That's not the right word, but it was an important time. It was in their own little era again of that 60s into the 70s. And it was big British horror, but it's a different style of horror than I think we're used to. It's a lot of the gothic. Again, it's a lot of what made the 30s and 40s Universal films so good, and kind of amping them up for 1960s era mentality, which is really cool. Again, I don't have the most familiarity with Hammer. I'm more familiar with Amicus, which is kind of their rival studio, I guess. And not that I'm well versed in Amicus. I just know Amicus mostly from their 7 anthology films they did, because that was kind of their shtick. But they kind of it's British filmmaking, for lack of a better phrase. It has that slow burn gothic build up, kind of the suspense, which is really cool. And I think it's something that I don't know how much of us here in America. I'm sure a lot, but the average person probably have not really dove too much into the Hammer catalog, as we probably should, and myself included. But like I said, when this was released, I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, well, that's pretty cool, and maybe because I also know that Warner Archive was releasing a standalone edition of this, like a simple standard version. But what kind of sold me into getting this, as is usually the case, is I saw Planet CHH, Christian Hanna, posting a video talking about this set, and I was like, damn it, when he showed off, I was like, man, that looks really good. The whole package really sold me, and I really wanted to check it out. Again, I know the history of the Curse of Frankenstein and Hammer. I was like, this, why not jump on this and check it out? It is a hefty price, but I think once you get into what's in here, I think it's not too bad, honestly. I did get this from Orbit DVD. They still have some available. I believe this is a limited edition. And like I said, the standalone standard edition of this, and this is a 4K also, is going to be released, if it hasn't already, by Warner Archive. So there's that. This was, I think this is all was initially like a UK edition. But again, it's 4K, so it's going to play no matter what. But I got it from Orbit DVD. They shipped it immediately. This is great, but this is, God, like I said, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Full disclosure. I'm dying to sit down and check this out, but I just have not had the time. But again, I didn't want to wait forever to show this off to you guys. So I'm going to go through this now. We're going to look at all the bells and whistles here, package-wise. And then I'm going to bring you part 2, where I actually get to watch the film and give you my thoughts and, look, sound, and also, my take on really watching a classic Hammer film for the first time. So that being said, here is the case. I love that imaging of the Hammer. That's a great solid black, and it shines the spine. And this is a nice hard shell box. There's Hammer on the back. And let's see, make sure Curse of Frankenstein. And this opens up, and it was just great. This is a hard box by itself, but not to be outdone, you have a second hard box. So here's this with a great image from Christopher Lee. Again, the spine, and then you get this back. Great artwork. You got Peter Cushing on here. And of course, you've got all this great stuff in here. So look at that. You've got 2 hard cases, which is great. And then here is the set. There's Christopher. There's Peter. And you open up. Look at that. And it just keeps opening. And this is a 6-disc set. Okay, 6-disc set. It's 4K and Blu-ray. But so this is beautiful. I really love this, how they did this. And let's see now. How do I do this? Okay. Let's see. We'll flip it around. And here we go. So there's all your discs. And you've got, these are all different versions. Well, you've got like 3 different versions spread across these discs. Let's see here. This is really hard. Okay, so you've got here. I'm just going to tell them, and I'll probably put it on screen because it'll be easier to do than trying to flip this up. But you have on disc 1, which is the 4K, it includes the widescreen 1661 UK theatrical version and the full screen 1371 as filmed version. So I think that's interesting to give you that. You have one that's filmed in a smaller aspect ratio, but then theatrically they put it in, blew it up. Then on disc 2 you have the US 185 widescreen theatrical edition. So that's like 3 different formats. Like it's basically all the same film, but the format is different. Disc 3 is a Blu-ray, and it is the widescreen 1661 UK theatrical version, and the full screen 1371 as film. That's on the Blu-ray. Disc 4, same thing as the Blu-ray, but it's the widescreen 1851 theatrical. And then discs 5 and 6 are all special features. And there's a lot on here. And they are both Blu-ray, and they are region B. So, again, a lot of stuff in here. But that, as I say, is not all. You've got your lobby card recreations in here. I have not opened this up yet. I will do that right now. Maybe. Okay, there we go. And these are original lobby card facsimiles. Now this, a lot of people we talked about before, a lot of people don't care for the cards, but again, this is something I like because these are, even says so on the back, original UK lobby card facsimiles. So these are what were actually in the lobby of the theaters when this played, were these images, these cards. So let's run through these. So not just like fluff, they're historical fluff, if you will. I just spit there. I'm sorry about that. But it is, these are the kind of, if you're going to put lobby cards, I like, I'd rather have just regular random photos that some companies put in. I prefer to have actual reproductions of what the lobby cards really look like. And it's what's really cool. and I am dying to sit there and watch this movie. Again, time has not been my friend, as it were. I right now I'm doing these things at almost midnight, recording these videos. I've had hardly any time to sit down and watch this movie and pay attention to it. So I'm looking forward to getting that time to do that. And I promise you I will, and it hopefully will be, too long. We also get a poster in here, and this smells great. It's not Arrow, but it has that Arrow-like smell. So this is great, nice poster here. And then you have a foreign poster. Actually, both foreign posters. I couldn't read that, which is really nice. And nice thick stock too. You've got a graphic novel of the film. So there you go. For you comic enthusiasts out there, you have a graphic novel of the whole film. That's pretty cool. I gotta admit. Who would have thought of that? And then finally you have the Books of Frankenstein, Volume 1. I'm not even sure, this is just, looks like there's all kinds of, there's like script excerpts, all kinds of information, and I don't know, so much printed material here involving Frankenstein, the Curse of Frankenstein. I'm interested that it says Volume 1 though. It makes me wonder, is something coming after this or what? But this is a nice thick book. It's very soft spine. Flip through it easily. A lot of good color images and articles, and like I said, there's some script pages in here. It's just, there's a lot to go through. This is a fantastic set. There are so many features, and I don't even know, gosh, what special features are on here. I don't see a listing here. I'll have to go through and make a list when I actually watch this, because I don't see anything here telling me what's actually on the bonus discs. Because here's like the only little card they really had is like J card or L card. This one on the bottom. Here's like a little saying on the bottom. Of course, you hear barcode. It's region B. But again, you have the 4Ks on here. But man, there is so much to go through, and this is such a beautiful, beautiful set. They really. I'm just like Hammer Studio is actually who put this out. I'm not sure if what the company is it this. This is Hammer, so I don't think. I know Hammer has not really been with us for years. I don't know if they kind of made a comeback. I don't know the history, so bear with me. Take pity on me. I don't know what I don't know, but I'm curious if this is going to be a ongoing thing with other films in their library. Now, oh man, if they do this with some of their other class of films, I don't know. That could be a pretty. I don't know if they'll do it for everything. I could see them probably doing it for the first Christopher Lee Dracula film. I can't remember what that one's called. Was it Blood of Dracula? Maybe, I'm not sure what that one is, but maybe that. Because there's a lot of these Hammer Frankenstein films, but this is the first one, so I could see why they would make this elaborate set. And like I said, that first Christopher Lee vampire film or Dracula film, I could see them doing with that. But I said this was probably about 70. Again, it's not, in my mind, not too bad for everything you've got in here. And again, 6 discs, all this extra stuff in here, and I don't even know what the bonus features are on the 2 discs full. I am dying to dig into this. But that's it, really, for this quick overlay of this limited edition from Hammer, the Curse of Frankenstein 4K and Blu-ray, Region B set. I'm hopefully maybe later this weekend, if I can find time, I'll try and sit down and watch this and check out what's the special features best I can. and get back to you with part 2 of this, because again, I don't want to shortchange you and not tell you how it looks and sounds or anything, but I definitely wanted to show what an awesome set this is, in case it's still available and you want to pick it up. But if you don't want this, like I said, again, the standard film is going to be available from Warner Archive, I believe, and it's just the 4K. I don't believe you're going to get any other, discs. I don't know what's on that, but if that's all you wanted, you can get that. But if you can get hold of this and you're a big Hammer fan, I think you definitely want to pick this up. And I am stoked to dig into this. I can't wait to check it out and report back to you. So that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on Hammer. If you have a favorite Hammer film, if you're familiar with, very familiar with Hammer, because I said I am not. I have not really seen too many Hammer films. I know the history in passing. I've seen documentaries. I've read the books. I've done the research. I know, how important Hammer Studios was to horror and British horror, and its place. Let me know if you've got a favorite film. And I also know that almost every one of them seem to have a combination of Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in some form or another. If not both, at least one of them seem to be in it. Or just say hi. I'll always take hi. So until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.